You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, it's Jessie. How y'all doing out there today? You know, I miss you when we're not talking. What a day. Okay, whether you agree or disagree, we just lived through history. I don't care if you agree with the decision. I don't care if you disagree with the decision. We are living through history. Get it right, folks. Now, I want to explain why this decision is so historic. I really do. Because there's a lot chunked into this. But I seem to have a slight audio issue. So I am going to drop just a little bit of bumper music while I get it sorted out. Shouldn't take me even the full bumper. And then we will be back to talk Israel and history. Thank you all for bearing with me while I worked through that audio confusion. I gotta love it when things just don't stay the way they're supposed to. So, thank you all for bearing with me. And I thank everybody that's hanging out in chat. And yes, I went all the way back to Truman on this one. Why? Well, real simple. He was the first U.S. president to recognize Israel. Not because others didn't, but because they couldn't. It didn't exist. And full disclosure, I'm Jewish. I am Jewish. I am a practicing Jew. I have been to Eretz Yisrael, or I have been to Israel. I have been to the Western Wall. So, you can imagine that this is a topic of great interest for me. Now, I did try and reach out to Justin Kinney, my usual favorite recurring guest. I am trying to get him on the show. Boy, we may have to do a couple of episodes, even if I just got to hang him on the line and keep him talking. Because
You guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but he and I have actually covered how the Middle East got its borders, and we discussed all of the countries, including Israel. So it's been definitely interesting. Now, I have some of that audio pulled up to add to the conversation, but we are actually going to take a step back and go back to the beginning. We are going to go back to the beginning, not because I'm trying to take over Stafford and give you guys a history lesson, but because I think it's important for context and understanding why this is so critical. All right? Now, I have pulled some amazing audio. And yes, I do call some of this amazing. Because some of it, I don't think you're going to hear anywhere else. And you want to know why? I can give you a real quick answer. Because I dig for it. I went all the way back to 1940s. I traipsed through presidential libraries. I did all kinds of stuff prepping for this show tonight. I do have a little special thing I want to play probably when we take a commercial break or towards the end of the show. I am willing to bet most of you have never heard the Israeli national anthem, Hatikva. So I will be playing that tonight, and yes, I will play it just like I would any national anthem in its entirety. Excuse me. Now, I'm not going to play all of this audio clip. What I'm about to start with, well, I am going to play the first one in its entirety. The first one is Truman. No, I didn't mess up and say Truman instead of Trump. Let's take a listen.
But in spite of all the advice against it, I chose to recognize the de facto government of Israel. This was done on the 15th of May, 1948. I felt that we were rather the conscience of the free world, and that's the reason.
So, he had been advised by several people not to recognize Israel, but he felt we were the conscience of the free world, and therefore it was his duty to recognize Israel. All right. So, Truman recognized Israel. Not because it was popular. He went against the grain. People were telling him, no, don't do that. Don't do that. No, no, no. And he went, tough. It's the right thing to do, so I'm doing it. And for that, I give him credit. Now, this next audio clip, it's going to sound absolutely boring. It is 1 minute and 15 seconds. But it is 1 minute and 15 seconds of audio that changed the world. This is the original United Nations vote to recognize, for the United Nations to recognize Israel. And yes, I'm going somewhere with this. But I want you to have the foundational background to understand what I'm talking about and why this is so pivotal. Untie my tongue.
Afghanistan? No. Argentina? Abstention? Australia? Yes. Belgium? Yes. Bolivia? Yes. Brazil? Yes. Belarusia? Yes. Canada? Yes. Chile? Abstain. Soviet Union? Yes. United Kingdom? Abstain. United States? Yes. Uruguay? Yes. Venezuela? Yes. Yemen? No. Yugoslavia? Abstain.
The resolution of the Dutch Committee for Palestine was adopted by 33 votes, 13 against, 10 abstentions.
All right, so that was the actual audio that recognized Israel and essentially brought Israel onto the world stage and made them exist. And yes, I know it's not the most intriguing audio. Trust me. I'm trying to make this interesting, but you have to understand how pivotal history is, how much history plays a role in what we are dealing with today. In fact, I am probably going to rerun the hour-and-a-half-long episode that Justin and I did on how the Middle East got its borders this weekend. I think it's that important. What can I say? But I'm that intent on it. Now, Israel was founded after World War II because, well, the Jews wanted out of Europe. Let's just get blunt. They weren't real happy in Europe. And I don't think any of us would be. You're living among people that had just persecuted you, tried to kill you, your family. Now, this is part of the audio from Justin and my interview with Justin. It is not the entirety of it.
It may have been part of this thing initially, but then when the country that we know today as Israel was formed, it was a whole other process.
Oh, absolutely. When I say Israel was part of the process, all I mean is the land that eventually became Israel. It was part of the deal, but it was not considered Israel. It was not called Israel. That process and the borders that define Israel all came, a couple decades later.
Okay. All right. So Israel was not part of the original border development of the Middle East. Now, I'm looking for the spot while we're talking here. Now, before everybody jumps a gun and goes, but Trump recognized Israel. What? Calm down. He's not the only one. No. He's not. Would you believe that Russia and the Ukraine have both recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel? Yes. Russia recognizes Jerusalem as recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital. And Russia officially announced that it recognizes Western Jerusalem as the capital of Israel in an unexpected announcement. And here's part of what they said. And these words ought to sound familiar. We reaffirm our commitment to the UN-approved principles for a Palestine-Israeli settlement, which includes the status of East Jerusalem as the capital of the future Palestinian state. At the same time, we must state that in this context, we view West Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Now, this is a huge shift. Yes, a huge shift from previous Russian doctrine. previously, Jerusalem wasn't recognized by them any more than it was by us. So that's a monumental shift. And I do mean monumental, friends. Then, and this article is 8 months old. Now, the Temple Mount. We will get to the Temple Mount. However, I'm going to make a caveat here. Temple Mount is the most disputed piece of real estate on the planet. There is no other way to put this one, folks. It is the most disputed piece of ground. End of sentence. End of discussion. All right, I seem to be fighting a technical gremlin on top of everything tonight. I've actually got more than one, but I am trying to work through them all on the fly. Now, I've got Trump's audio from today. Yes, it is important. I know you've heard it, but we're going to listen to a few sections of it again. All right, so the vote passed in 1995 and was reaffirmed just 6 months ago unanimously in the Senate. Now, I think I've got my marker straight. This doesn't mean that Trump doesn't want peace. All right, folks, we are going to take the commercial break just a little bit early so I can hopefully slay these internet gremlins. And I will see you on the other side.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground. Won't be.
And listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. Or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
All right, thank y'all for hanging in there with me tonight while we slay gremlins and discuss the significance of Trump's actions today as they can relate to Jerusalem. Like I said, this was history. And yes, there is the old saying, before it's history, it's news. Boy, was this history. And I know some of you aren't up for a huge history lesson, but I want you to have the background so you can understand what I'm dealing with, what I'm talking about, and why it's so important. Jerusalem is home to the temple. And that temple, the origins of it are somewhat disputed, not in my mind. And, well, I'd say not in most people's minds. And here's audio from not the current UN Secretary General, but the previous one.
Of the governing body of UNESCO, they're not. It is clear for me that the Temple of Jerusalem was destroyed by the Romans. It was a Jewish temple, as it is clear for me that Jerusalem is today a holy city for three religions. These are the facts that nobody can deny.
So let's talk about.
Okay. The city of Jerusalem is a holy city for three religions. And some of you are going, yeah, so? Well, that means lots of people want to get their paws on it and lots of people want a piece of it. So, all right, we had the UN recognized the State of Israel in 1948, but at the time, Jerusalem was placed under international control. However, most governmental offices were put in Jerusalem anyway. During the Six-Day War in 1967, Israel captured the eastern section of Jerusalem, which Jordan presided over, and declared Israeli law jurisdiction and administration would be applied to the whole city. Now, the quote-unquote occupation of East Jerusalem has been declared illegal several times. However, in 1980, the Knesset, Israeli's parliament, declared that Jerusalem, complete and united, is the capital of Israel. And the UN called for a removal of the embassies in Jerusalem. And people were asking me, why was our embassy in Tel Aviv to start with if Jerusalem is the capital? Well, politics. The UN says, nope, you shouldn't have an embassy in Jerusalem because that makes it look like it's the capital, and, well, Jerusalem's just too much of a hot-button issue. So we shouldn't do anything with it. We need to just kind of stand back and quake in our boots and let it go. Now, Ban Ki-moon said that Jerusalem must be the capital of both Israel and Palestine side by side in peace, with arrangements for access to the holy sites. Because, well, there's lots of holy sites in Jerusalem, and like I said, everybody wants it. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu had a response to President Trump's remarks today. And we are going to listen to them in their entirety because I didn't hear any of the mainstreamers giving this the airtime it deserved. So you're going to bear with me, and we're going to listen to Benjamin Netanyahu.
A historic day. Jerusalem has been the capital of the Jewish people for 3,000 years. It's been the capital of Israel for nearly 70 years. It was here that our temple stood, our kings ruled, our prophets preached. Jerusalem has been the focus of our hopes, our dreams, our prayers for 3 millennia. From every corner of the earth, our people yearn to return to Jerusalem, to touch its golden stones, to walk its hallowed streets. So it's rare to be able to speak of new and genuine milestones in the glorious history of this city. Yet today's pronouncement by President Trump is such an occasion. We're profoundly grateful for the President for his courageous and just decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and to prepare for the opening of the U.S. Embassy here. This decision reflects the President's commitment to an ancient but enduring truth, to fulfilling his promises, and to advancing peace. The President's decision is an important step towards peace, for there is no peace that doesn't include Jerusalem as the capital of the State of Israel. I call on all countries that seek peace to join the United States in recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital and to move their embassies here. I share President Trump's commitment to advancing peace between Israel and all of our neighbors, including the Palestinians. This has been our goal from Israel's first day, and we will continue to work with the President and his team to make that dream of peace come true. I also want to make clear there will be no change whatsoever to the status quo at the holy sites. Israel will always ensure freedom of worship for Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. President Trump, thank you for today's historic decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The Jewish people and the Jewish state will be forever grateful.
All right, so that was Benjamin Netanyahu's response. Now, why was that so important? Well, as a Middle Eastern country, Israel is one of the few Middle Eastern countries that actually does truly allow freedom of religion. Israel is the only Middle Eastern country I can think of, and please, someone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, that is a true democracy. Now, they do have a parliamentary system, not the same as ours, but similar, more closer to the UK, the British, than ours, but that's okay. They have a democracy, not a dictatorship. And that in and of itself, my friends, speaks volumes. And you guys are wondering why. Well, like I said, Russia 8 months ago, recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. So we weren't the first ones out the gate on this. We weren't even the second. We're like the fourth or fifth. And no offense, but if two superpowers can recognize it, now I don't expect Iran to recognize anything Israel does, so let's just pat that one on the head and leave it alone, because Iran doesn't even recognize Israel as a country. So they're certainly not going to recognize the capital. Now, why do I bring up Iran? Well, Hamas is why I'm bringing up Iran. Like I said, we've got some history to go through, and I'm getting there, and unfortunately I know I'm running out of time. But Hamas is a terrorist organization that is funded by Iran. Yes. Hamas is funded by Iran. And that's, you remember, I'm always connecting these dots. So, what do I think is going to happen? Well, I think we are going to see some serious backlash from the Palestinians. And they will start launching rockets into Israel. They will start digging tunnels to go into Israel and attack everyday citizens just trying to go about their lives. Now, El Al is the only country I know of whose airliners have never been hijacked. I repeat, El Al, the airline of Israel, is the only country whose airliners have never been hijacked. Personal opinion here. What Trump did today was the right thing to do. Why? Previous presidents have not done this. And yes, I don't normally discuss U.S. politics, but this one's so international, I couldn't walk away. Previous presidents were trying to appease the Palestinians. And you know what I think of appeasement.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
You don't accomplish anything through appeasement. All you get through appeasement is basically saying, yeah, we'll give you what you want if you leave us alone, and then what happens is nobody's happy, and or the one person that is, they're only happy for a little while, and then they start throwing a tantrum to get more. Worked once, just think of your 2-year-old, or your 3-year-old, or your teenager even. Sometimes you give them what they want to make them happy, quiet, and compliant. It works for a little while, until they want something you aren't willing to give them. Guess what, friends? It's the same way on the world stage. Appeasement doesn't work long term. Appeasement is what got us where we are with North Korea. Appeasement is what got us, in large part, where we are with the terrorists. And appeasement will not solve the Middle East peace process. Do I think there needs to be a two-state solution? Yes. However, that needs to be predicated on the fact that both countries need to recognize the other country's right to exist. Israel already recognizes Palestine's right to exist. But Palestine, and I'm kind of putting air quotes around that because it's not, some people recognize it, some people don't. Palestine does not recognize Israel's right to exist. And that means that would be like, pick a state. I'm going to go with Michigan just because I was talking about it earlier with a friend. Say you're from Michigan and you have a driver's license. Well, your driver's license is valid. If you leave Michigan, though, no other state in the country recognizes that Michigan driver's license, which means you need to have another driver's license, or more than one, to legally operate your vehicle outside the state of Michigan. Just because nobody wants to recognize your driver's license, because it's from Michigan. Well, guess what? That's not how you solve a problem. You solve a problem by making people realize that fighting doesn't stop the conflict. Come to a table, sit down, and talk. And people say, well, Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't want to talk with anyone. Actually, he does. He does want to talk. He has an open invitation, a standing open invitation to the Palestinian leadership. He will meet with them. All they have to do is say the word. Yet they are the ones who dig tunnels, incite violence, and that forces Israel to be the one that has to respond. Israel did us a huge favor when it came to North Korea several years back. North Korea had sold or given, I don't remember which, and I'm not going to pull the audio, a nuclear reactor to Syria. We fretted, wrung our hands, and kind of went, ooh, that's not good. Israel said, that ain't standing. And so they flattened it before it became active. Before it had nuclear material, they went in and flattened it. Could you imagine what the war on terror would look like if ISIS or Daesh had access to nuclear material? I don't even want to think about it. That would be the definition of horrific. Instead of IEDs, they'd be throwing dirty bombs as IEDs. I don't even want to go there, kids. Now, Jerusalem has been recognized as the capital by the Czech Republic and Russia. We, and now us. The Arabs have rejected the partition plan, and the Arabs have done what they call intifada. What is intifada? Well, in short, it's throwing rocks and stones and Molotov cocktails at people that are trying to do nothing more than keep you safe. Sound familiar? Except instead of a couple hours worth or a couple days worth, it goes on for weeks and or months at a time. And they will blow stuff up, they will hurt people, all because they are throwing a tantrum because they didn't get their way. Now, The mainstream media is quick to show images of Israeli soldiers pushing back the Palestinians. And they go, well, the Palestinians only have sticks and stones. You stand there and let 50 people start pelting you with sticks and stones. I don't care who you are, it's going to get annoying, it's going to hurt, and you're going to have to put an end to it. And the Palestinians are given money. What do they do with this money? Well, I'm going to make it short and sweet. They pay people who attack Israeli citizens and Westerners. They pay them and or their families while they sit in jail. Where do they get this money? Believe it or not, quite a bit of it comes from the UN. It's supposed to be used for humanitarian efforts. But the Palestinians turn around and go, well, that is our humanitarian effort. These people are unjustly jailed because Israel's an occupying force. These two, the Palestinians and the Israelis, to some extent, are toddlers in a sandbox. Now, one has recognized the other's right to exist. Yeah, you can sit there and play in the sand with me. The other one's going, I don't want you in my sand. I'm going to kick you out. So they start hitting them with their bucket and shovel and throwing sand in their face and doing all kinds of not nice things. That is not the answer. All right, I know I'm almost out of time. So I want to take a minute and thank all of you for hanging in there with me while we walk down the history of Israel, the history of Jerusalem, and the fact that Jerusalem, yes, it does need to potentially be a divided place. However, it's not possible to divide something that one person says, no, it's all mine, and I won't have it any other way. So, in my opinion, there can be no Middle East peace until the Palestinians, and read Iran, because a lot of the Palestinians fall under Hamas, and then you have the Palestine Liberation Organization. They get funding from Iran too. Is willing to accept Israel's right to exist. All right, folks. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Jesse's POV. You can shoot me an email at the station at jessespov@klrnradio.com. And I've decided I am going to put up the replay of Justin and I discussing how the Middle East got its borders on this Saturday on KLRN Radio. I don't have a time yet. I got to check and see what time's available. It is a long episode. It is an hour and a half long. But if you ever wondered how we got all these countries, they're just a little bit too kooky and don't seem to get along with each other, here it is. As I promised earlier in the show, here is Israel's national anthem. folks. Thank you for hanging in there with me tonight, and I will see you next time on Jesse's POV. And with that, folks, I'm out of here.